Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Arash Zandieh, and this week in pop culture, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Mandalorian, Yes, the Believer. We also got some Falcon Winter Soldier news. We got some Ahsoka. We got tons of Star Wars. We're going to be talking about the Investor Day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone knows just a few days ago, Disney gave us the biggest bombshell of all. They gave us Investor Day, and they did not disappoint. We're going to be talking about almost everything. It's just a 2-hour show because if we talk about everything, we'll be stuck here for the next 4 to 5 hours. We know one person that would love to be here for the whole time, mayheming it all. But anyway, without further ado, let me introduce you guys to every single person that's part of this crew. To my very left, right here, is my Tuesday host. You can catch him on Tuesdays with This Week in Toy Culture, Mr. Michael Bergy.
What up, guys?
The Ran right below me. Yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch, guys. The man right below me, you can catch him on his podcast, Last Stop on the L, Mr. Michael Mayhem. And right next to him, the lovely, the wonderful, you can catch her on the Tingling Tea every Friday night, Miss Leslie Frye. Welcome. I know you guys have a lot of questions to be talking about as well too. A lot of Falcon, a lot of Winter Soldier. I know everyone's excited about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know a lot of people just got crazed about Loki, especially him seeing in a suit. And some of us have been waiting for this for quite a long time, and that's part of the What If series. And then we got tons of Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Yeah.
And including a director that was super excited. She even did a little teaser trailer, and you guys can catch that on the Facebook page, and that is facebook.com/Evo Comics Inc. That little YouTube clip is up there right now. But let's get into the action. We'll go right into Star Wars, and we're going to talk about the first, I guess, title that we saw coming, right, guys? Yes. We've been predicting this, and this man likes to claim and likes to say a bunch of words. Say it, Michael, right before I put the title up.
Cut the check.
And we are talking about Ahsoka. Yes, not too long ago, we saw Ahsoka make her return as part of the Mandalorian series, and little stories here and there made us look like, oh, is this gonna be a little spin-off? While fans are going, no, she may stay on the Mandalorian series, and we said, no, she's on the hunt for someone. And just like we've said before, as he's gonna say it again,
cut the
check.
That's her own spin-off series.
I want 10%.
Right? Leslie, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the Ahsoka title and your excitement on the series that's going to be happening very shortly.
Listen, the minute they cast Rosario Dawson, I knew that's somebody that's too big to be in one episode of a show. And I get it. The Mandalorian is like a fan favorite. That's part of the What If series. What happened? I heard somebody talking. What did he say?
No.
Oh,
we're talking about the What If series. Yes.
Yes. So my thing is this. I knew that this was going to be a series by itself because of who she was in the Clone Wars, and so I just knew that it was it's just a done data, I don't know. It's just science, but I'm trying to figure out which one of you all has a what do you call it, like a little recorder in your house that Disney is listening to everything that we're talking about.
It's probably me. It's probably me.
It's got to be one of us. I mean, look, Bergy and I always do the toy talks, and then we get once in a while we get the Disney conversation when it comes to Funko Pops. And just last Tuesday, right before the trailers and Investor Day happened, we were looking at the Funko Pops and said, "Wait, the costumes have changed," and that's the first release that we've noticed of the changes in costume. And it's happened before when toys are getting released. We did see WandaVision Funko Pops get pre-released prior. We'll get to that in a second as well too. But Mayhem, your thoughts on seeing Ahsoka story? It's just one little mini series of like 8 to 10 episodes. 8 to 10 episodes. It's just one season. Oh, you want more?
Wow, I'm at loss for words. Like,
Right? That's a first.
no, I know, right? Like, we are all avid Star Wars fans. Obviously, there are different levels to each co-host here. But it's just the main thing we wanted was Star Wars to be done right and rebooted altogether. We may not necessarily get that; certain things may stay, but the actual direction that they're going in is going to do so much fan service. It's so much more. We don't want to just see Jedi battles. We want to see some good content. We want more mysteries than answers, and this is what they're doing with the Mandalorian. With Ahsoka, oh my God, with Ahsoka, such a strong character. I'm bandwagon right off of Leslie. Leslie already knows what she's talking about. This is going to build a whole universe, and these guys saw it with Mandalorian and was like, all right, let's push it out and let's see what the fans like and don't like with all these new characters and these new possible series coming on. And I guarantee you, in 2 to 3 years, if that long, because due to coronavirus, we're gonna get a new movie. We're gonna get a new movie. I don't know what movie it's gonna be, but I hope it includes Grey Jedi, and I call it first. If it happens, cut the check. Cut it.
Cut the check. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Okay, Ahsoka, we all know Ahsoka is back. Yes, Rosario Dawson did a good job. I'm saying good. I feel like now that they have her own series, I cut it back because of one scene, but that's my opinion on it. But now that she's gonna have the proper saber training, those fights are going to be ridiculously done well. And like I want, because she's the only one with a different style, a different handle on her sabers compared to your normal Jedi. Before you answer that, let's have Michael say what he's got to say, and then we'll go back right to you, Michael. Bergy, take it away.
I mean, I'm super excited for Ahsoka. Obviously, I'm sitting here rocking one of my T-shirts I got from T-Turtle based off of Ahsoka. The fact that Rosario Dawson, when they cast her, I remember people were doing mock-ups and showing it, and I was just like, wow, she is spot on, perfect casting. And now that when she was part of the show, you saw that in that episode, The Jedi, that was titled The Jedi, we got at the end, there was a hint of something more. She asked, where is Thrawn? So we knew there was going to be some type of a spinoff. You don't just throw a name out there of Admiral Thrawn and you're going to glaze it over and move on. So I'm not surprised that they're doing a series on her. I'm absolutely thrilled about it because this is supposed to tie in because it's Dave Filoni who also did Clone Wars, who did Rebels and everything there. So if anybody who's watched Rebels, the last episode, she sits there and she meets up with Sabine Wren and says, I have a new lead on where Ezra is. So that is supposed to take place right after this Mandalorian episode that we just saw where she found out possibly where Thrawn is. So now I think they're going to lead into, you're probably going to get Ezra in it. You might get that type of storyline, but it's supposed to take place inside the Mandalorian universe. So we could see Thrawn as maybe the guy pulling the threads on Moff Gideon and other characters. I think it's going to be a really good one. It's going to have, you're going to see more clone troopers. Probably we're going to see, what is it? I'm trying to think. You're going to see the clone trooper. You're probably going to see Captain Rex. You're going to see Commander Cody, things like that. I hope we see those characters as part of Ahsoka's, TV series. So we shall see.
Right. We shall see indeed. Leslie, you had some comments to say on Ahsoka.
Yes, I know that you made this comment about the fact that I know what scene you're talking about, but given the time that she's going to have to train, because I believe that this woman is extremely effective in what she does as far as an actor, they're going to give her that opportunity to train and then you're going to see the full extent of what she can do as that in that role. So
That's what I said. Like when it has a proper training, especially with the way those lightsabers are used, and her being a different character compared to the normal Jedi.
there's a difference between filming one episode and
Mhm.
then filming a series. So for that one episode, that was meant for her to make an appearance because that's to drive the storyline for the Mandalorian. I'm just saying this from a production aesthetics. Then now that she's doing this series, trust me, she's getting her training. She's getting it in.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
I saw how her back was ripped when she bent down to fight, and I knew that she's doing her training. She's just not. It's not fully realized yet, but she's doing it.
I know. Don't have to explain it to me. I gave my rating to that rating. I know what we're looking forward to and what we need to get out of her. And with a whole series of her own, it's not just her fighting, but it's also a storyline that everyone has been itching to get their hands on. What happened to Ezra? And give me Admiral Thrawn. Go ahead, Mayhem.
Listen, I think it's very important that we stay here since somebody is being listened to by Disney. When you guys decide to hand us our invitations, know that we did not agree with what Hash said, Rosario. All right? To give us our invitations.
I think she's watching.
At the Star Wars brunch, okay?
I know she's watching. So you know, from one New Yorker to another, I know she does watch the show. You like a blue lightsaber? I mean, people also forget too why we are jumping on the whole entire Ahsoka and everything. Just remember that her lightsaber is out in stores. So while you guys are watching the series and you guys want to get her lightsaber, him and I have discussed this before. Go get her lightsaber, guys. You guys are missing out, especially on toy collecting. We're junkies for those toys.
Yeah.
On to our next little topic, and that is if we're getting Ahsoka in, what about Obi-Wan Kenobi? You know, and this series, Ewan McGregor returns to his iconic role as Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi with a special event series for Disney Plus, officially entitled Obi-Wan Kenobi. The series will begin 10 years after the dramatic event of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where he faced his greatest defeat and lost his best friend and apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, who turns into the dark side and becomes Darth Vader. This seems like I lost my best friend. I lost everything around me. I lost the order. I lost everything. What do I do as a standalone Jedi? Like a standalone man, standalone Jedi. How do I find myself? And just like Rogue One, are we going to get the entrance into New Hope kind of fight sequence with Darth Vader? And I'm kind of wondering what happens after, because they've never talked about his life force after A New Hope. Leslie, let's start with you and your thoughts and theories on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So I think that what I'm seeing here and what I believe is probably going to happen is that when Luke met Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first Star Wars movie in 1977, nobody really knew about his history. And then we kind of were piecing it together with all the other episodes. I believe that what we're going to see is what's going to happen, what has happened to him prior to that, and then after that. So I'm not really sure how they're going to do it, but his life has kind of been a mystery. So there's so much for them to work with here, and so much for the fans to try to grasp. They pretty much have, outside of what has been written in the books and fan fiction, they have like a clean slate to kind of drive this story along. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens to him afterwards, the thoughts that he's going to go through. I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of dark because he had such a huge disappointment, and it was enough for him to sequester himself and to become a hermit. When he was stumbled upon by Luke. So I don't know. This could go anywhere, but I am there for it, whatever it is.
Right, because one of the infamous lines of New Hope, and you've seen it from episode 1 and 2, from 1, 2, and 3, he says, "I never remember owning a droid," and that line stuck even afterwards as well too. And you would think that they would go back and just either remove the scene or change this or remove it somehow or bleep it in a way. Mayhem, your excitement on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and your thoughts in theory.
At first, I wasn't excited. It's just Obi-Wan, and the reason why I wasn't excited was the first time I saw Obi-Wan, and I was like, okay, he's a Jedi Master. Then he went against Darth Vader, and he's like, "Phew, that was it." I was like, come on. But now I'm pretty excited. Let me tell you why I'm excited. First of all, this brings up a new concept about the darkness that Jedi face, because we're gonna see that with Ben Kenobi. First of all, most of the Fallen Order, every remaining Jedi seems to think they're alone. Nobody's reaching out through the Force to reach and find other Jedi. They think they're alone. That's it, and it's like this heavy, heavy, heavy burden that they have to muster while also not conforming to the dark side. So like we gotta get to be that there more. We get to emote more and get to see them develop that. Also, what was Ben doing? Could we actually get another fight series with Darth Vader? I hope so. Something different, but also like just kind of get into the mindset of who Ben really was that we may have not necessarily got within the first 3 episodes, and also like other obviously characters like Les said that we can kind of build off that was in the lore from the books, which they excommunicated, may come back. We'll see what they do. Like that goes into like the whole universe. So like from here on out, when I talk about Star Wars, I'm going to keep bringing up the universe that they're rebuilding because there's so many possibilities and so much fan lore that they can do, so much fan service. I am ready to be one with the Force. I'm serious.
And by the way, people know this is also a storyline that happens also during Rogue One. Yeah. And the infamous line, "What happened to Mace Windu?" as Samuel L. Jackson keeps posting up. Mace Windu's still alive, guys. Bergy, your thoughts?
I mean, Obi-Wan, I'm down with, because I've been a fan of that's
I know. I just realized that. She had too much excitement. She had too much excitement.
Fan geeking out.
It was worthwhile.
Right?
That was worth it. To be honest, that was worth it.
We just got to work on our mouth movement there, Les, and we can puppet this. No, so I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's just like everyone's saying. It's like, what is the storyline going to be? What are they going to touch upon with him for the X amount of years that he was in exile? Did he stay in exile? He went to that planet, to Tatooine. We know that if you've watched Rebels, and you watched, Clone Wars, well, in Rebels, he actually fought against Darth Maul, and he defeated Darth Maul on Tatooine. So obviously he stayed up to date with his, Jedi training and, his skill set. So he had to take on Maul, and Maul was definitely an angered person, a lot longer in life, than him. So there was a lot more to read there. There is rumors going around that the person that's directing this, Kathleen Kennedy from one of the Star Wars people, she said we are going to see Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan for a battle. So we know he has to either leave the planet Tatooine, they meet somewhere else, and we're going to get another battle between the two of them. So this is something I'm looking forward to. And I don't think he just stayed on that planet and he was just there and only there. I think he traveled off planet. I think he helped out people, but he kept it very low key. Almost think like, when Batman does his Matches Malone persona, where he just plays under the radar, he does his stuff, but he doesn't let everyone know who he is. I think Obi-Wan's going to be something like that. He's going to help out where he can. He's going to right injustices where he can. And I think we are going to see some other, Jedi come into play with that, because I can't see it just being him on a planet that's a desert. Like that just to me wouldn't be very entertaining. So we shall see. We'll see what they do. I'm looking forward to it.
Right. I mean, we'll have Leslie comment on the fact that I mentioned Mace Windu and everything, because her excitement was just so too much and everything,
Listen, let me just say this. You're talking about some extreme Jedi masters here. You take into context what happened when Obi-Wan was wiped out by Darth Vader and why he just stood there and did it.
Right.
He just stood there and there. So we're gonna finally find out why he decided just to stand there and take the L on that fight. And
right.
then as far as Mace Windu, once again, one of the most powerful Jedis in the universe, and he just got took out like that? Come on now. So,
this can go back to a Yoda theory, because when Yoda becomes one with the Force, that he's able to go back and speak to Luke. And it happened a few times, including Obi-Wan.
Right.
During this time, we could see the extension of the Force where they are used to speak to people outside of their body. The same thing how Luke Skywalker was able to fight in the last in the final in episode 9. You know, this could be like that, those teachings. How do we get to the it's like every Super Saiyan in the world. How do we get to that next level? How do we get from blue, from yellow to blue to red and every other color in the world? How does a Jedi surpass its own powers and its own force? We now get to learn, hopefully, as he's like to say right below me.
Me? Cut the check. Cut it.
Any other comments on Obi-Wan before we continue on?
I think I think Bergy was going to talk. I'm just really excited to them explore Obi-Wan. That's dope, but more about the Force and the other Jedi, and like the Gray Jedi. Introduce that, other fighting techniques to explain Rosario's character's fighting techniques. They make something more than just the common lightsaber practice. What about the librarians that are still out there that are in tune with the Force? What about Sith who are kind of like, I don't know, going back and forth and thinking about, there's so much more they can explain. If you haven't had the chance to read the books, if you can find it, read them and you'll understand. Forget Han Solos and Leia's twins. They're great, but just read the lore and that the backgrounds they gave for like the enemies and everybody else. It was
Yeah, what if we get to the theory of Obi-Wan looking for all the temples, and this is where Luke does the same journey and finding all the books of all the destroyed temples. What if Obi-Wan is the one that destroyed all the temples before the Sith got to them? Anyone ever thought of that?
There's so many yarns. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. I've been talking too much.
That could be, something too, because you think about at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda told him that he found a way to communicate with his old master. So will we see Qui-Gon Jinn? I would absolutely love to see Liam Neeson as like an astral projectile, of himself as Qui-Gon Jinn and teach him. Oh man, come on! And then what if he's the one that tells him Vader's looking for temples? You have to destroy him so he doesn't get the history or the knowledge or draw in other Jedis to do that. I agree with you, Mayhem. I think it's I know.
Right. I know. No, I know. Someone's
listening. Somebody's listening.
Right. And also one more thing, as I've mentioned before too, and maybe one of you guys can actually disagree or agree with me as well too. The introduction of Cal Kestis. I mean, if he doesn't end up in the Mandalorian in this series, does he end up in the Obi-Wan series because of where the storyline lies?
I think Disney merging
right.
a really good opportune time, because now instead of giving us the same old hope and maybe disappointment, they're like, we got Marvel on, we got a team and we know about cliffhangers. And now we're going to actually develop the universe, because we've had experience in history of letting fans down and not letting fans down and doing everything. So yes, there's so many unraveled ties that like everybody could come back and push the forward anew. Go ahead, Les.
Initially, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, a lot of what they created was based on the cliffhangers that people grew up on watching in the 40s, in the 50s, or the 60s, 70s, and 80s for that matter, the 70s maybe, because you had to wait until the next week. There was no such thing as streaming. You had to wait until the next week to see what happened for the storyline. So basically they went back to something that was extremely effective, that grew fan bases as a result of everybody waiting with bated breath to figure out what's going to happen. This is just an old technique that they basically have revisited, and we are eating it up like they did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s.
Hey, look at TV for the past several years. We've always waited for like one episode and one thing, and this is by far the biggest cliffhangers that we have been accustomed to. But there's also been some controversy, especially with a lot of little things that have been happening in Mandalorian, especially with a child in handcuffs. We'll talk to that in just a second as well. Because I don't know why anyone's complaining about a kid. I'm sorry. If a little freaking 5-year-old has the powers to come kick my butt and I'm sorry, that kid's getting tied down. I'm very sorry if this hurt offends anyone. But if a little kid has enough power What do you do with a kid with a gun? You're gonna tell me you're not gonna put him down? You know, you're gonna restrain him? I'm sorry,
I mean,
but
he did use 2 stormtroopers like as his little toy rattlers, so I don't blame you. You got to put him.
Yeah, listen.
Kid's hungry. He's eating eggs.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for deviled eggs.
Look, the reason that we're talking about this, they were effective in what they did by putting those
Yes,
because people are talking about it and people are sending Twitters about it and everything like that. I have to tell you, those are the cutest little handcuffs I've ever seen, and of course, yes, the mother instinct to me was like, oh, but
right,
I have to.
But she knew. But your mother knows the kid is,
Well, I would
you
say
put him in that blanket.
I don't say the kid is bad. I think that it was a visual effect that got everybody emotionally invested in that scene. That's what happened.
Speaking of emotionally invested, there's that comment right there.
Because after that scene, you looked at Moff Gideon is like, man, you're a bad mamma jamma. Like, you are a villain right now that you did that to him. So
he's like the evil stepfather. But continuing on, we're gonna get to a lot of Mandalorian in the second hour. If you guys want to stick around, that's one thing. But we're gonna be talking about another series that a lot of people really don't know about, and I think Bergy's the only one that knows more because I didn't watch the Clone Wars series. I didn't watch Rebels. And this is a group of guys called the Bad Batch, which follows the elite and experienced clone troopers group called the Bad Batch, which were introduced in the Clone Wars as they go and find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy, pretty much in the aftermath of the Clone Wars. Michael, I did not get a good handle on Clone Wars. I had a hard time with Rebels. I mean, look, I'll admit it. I watched everything else but getting into those series. And you know what, Mayhem? Let's start with you. You seem to be shaking your head like you know some stuff. Let's start with you right now.
Listen, I'm gonna let Bergy shine because we all know Bergy's the librarian. Okay,
right?
Bergy is the librarian. Leslie is the PR team. Okay, and Mike is just the one guy with Twitter fingers. Okay, like that's
right.
what I am.
Yes,
but from what I've seen from the trailer, it looks dope because. While we've been worried about the Jedi, the Sith, the Gray Jedi, and other people who don't like the Republic, we don't really know the other side. So now we get to kind of see what the soldiers are going through. Sure, they're going to be going through certain missions where it's going to be like hush hush, black ops, all this other stuff, but they have personalities. Like, stop and think about it. Did anybody ever think that the stormtroopers in the beginning had personalities or that they were actually human beings? And like we were just like, they're just cannon fodder, which is bad to say. So then, of course, we went further and found out they were clones, and still it's kind of like, do they have personalities or are they just soldiers? So now we got to see personalities, people who may be challenging the Republic, the order, and everything, and thinking, and we can kind of emote with that. We can bond with that. We can see. It's like Halo when they introduced the new Guardians, and we were like, I love these Guardians, and then they all died, and we were like, no, why? Classic. So, Bergy, take it away. But also, that's a check.
So the Bad Batch, anybody who hasn't watched last season 7 of Clone Wars, they introduced a set of troopers, as they called them. They were Clone 99, Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch. These are basically to cut a scene from the 80s. Think the A-Team in a way. Like, everyone had a special skill set. They were just the baddos. Everything. They also were developed with extra abilities. So each one of them had a special ability that other regular clones didn't have. And they did touch upon that in the Bad Batch in those 4 or 5 episodes that they were in. They actually were there trying to figure out why the not the clone army, I'm sorry, the robotic army there was figuring out a lot of their strategies and a lot of their missions and how they were getting defeated so many times. And they found out that one of their clone troopers from the ones that set up with Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker was captured. They thought he was dead, but he was captured. They were able to actually somehow, twist his brain and give up secrets. So they went in there to defeat them and take this guy back. So the 5 guys that you're going to have, part of it is Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, and Echo. Echo is the one that they had to get back. So he was one of the original 5s, the clone 5s. So now you have them. They're going to be taking place. This is going to take place in the Imperial era. They're going to be doing mercenary missions after the Clone War has ended, and they have no meaning. They were kind of like cut loose. I don't think they got that chip in their head like the other clones did, so that helped them age and basically die off. So they're going to be their own. We're also going to see from it, they're going to dive deeper into the clones, individual personalities, like Mayhem was saying, and their lives. What happened to some of them that basically broke apart from the Order and the Jedi and from the Republic? Because we saw that in a couple episodes in Clone Wars. Some of them decided they didn't want to be part of it and they didn't want to fight. They became a farmer and they had a family. So they are going to touch upon that, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Some of these guys, Commander Cody, Rex, McGregor, those are some of the best ones. Now you can be the Bad Batch guys. And the first guy, I think the guy's name is Hunter. He reminds me of Rambo. Like, that to me is just absolutely amazing. And I love the character of them. So this is going to be a great cartoon series. It's going to tie into a lot of the other series as well. So it's going to be great.
Well, will we also, because they've said this before with Boba Fett coming in and it being explained, are they going to throw those ties in as well too? Because I remember in one story that said that Boba Fett, especially watching Mandalorian, they did tie in saying that he did meet the clones. Is that going to be fine? Are those issues going to be answered finally?
Well, you do see in the Clone War cartoon series, Jango basically, Boba Fett is actually, he does meet up with some of the clones in there, and he actually goes after and goes against Obi-Wan. He goes against Ahsoka and stuff like that. So he knows them because he's met Commander Cody, Rex, and those guys. So yeah, I think we could see him, but he's going to be a teenager. I just don't think you can get that kid that was the original to come back, because, well, actually, you probably could. He'd be right around the same age. He would be right around the right age for this right now to do it, but he would be the voice of it as the animation. So it'd be interesting to see what they can do with that.
I'm for it, because that way we can all have those dying daddy question answers that I keep throwing at you guys.
I know you keep doing the daddy issues. We got it.
Go ahead, man. You look like you got final words. Dave, I know you, bro. I know you.
Nothing I have to say is nice. Can we get some hearts in the chat so that way for the Star Wars universe? Hearts in the chat for Star Wars universe. Thank you.
Heart, and as we're continuing the Star Wars universe, one lovely lady can't wait for this one, especially getting Lando. The galaxy's favorite scoundrel, Carlithian, will return in a series called Lando. But no one knows yet if Daniel Glover will be cast as Lando, or will someone else new be cast in. Yes, Daniel Glover has not said, and Disney has not said if he's going to come in, or will they cast someone new. And also, we don't even know what the storyline's going to lie. Is it going to be pre? Is it going to be after? Go ahead, Leslie.
Listen,
I give you the ball.
They're going to have Donald Glover play that role.
They better.
Nobody's going to follow it if they have anybody else cast in that role. He completely embodied that role. And I believe the reason why nobody is saying anything is that they're keeping some mystery about it, which is what they would normally do in a situation like that, because they don't have any footage of what's going on. It's just, the proposed the proposed series that's going to go on the storyline. I am so looking forward to this, because I've not seen any Black person in the Star Wars universe. And it, for someone who saw the film when it came out in 1977, like 20 times, I was looking for somebody that looked like me. So maybe now they can explain with Lando's story, what happened to all the Black people in space. That's what
yes.
Yes. Honestly,
PR strikes again. Yes.
The fact that Lando Calrissian happens to be the only Black man in the whole entire episode 4, 5, and 6, and then
that's what happens. We were chilling on the other side of the universe.
Yeah. What happened to us? Where did we go? Where are the Native American people? Where did they go? And we kind of saw a few Latinos. So I don't know what happened. Okay,
maybe Mayhem has a little theory on this one. Mayhem taken away.
This is what happens, right? We were on the other side of the universe. We saw the Empire messing up. We were like, oh no, we're gonna take all the Black Jedi we can. Stay here. We got this. We stood on our side of the fence. It'll be dope, but Leslie's right.
Wait, first off, before you continue, when we go back to episode 1, 2, and 3, Mace Windu's still the only Black Jedi around too.
Black Jedi.
But still continue, Mayhem. But go ahead, continue.
Listen, you always get one. Somebody always slips through the crack. Is all I gotta say.
I got one theory too, but that goes back to wrestling. But go ahead too.
So, like, I think one of the great things about Lando coming out is maybe we'll see a little bit more representation of men and women of different nationalities and cultures there. I mean, it's a whole universe. Besides makeup and a whole face mask, there could be more to it. So obviously, Donald Glover killed it. I don't understand why people are still sleeping on him. Have you not checked out Atlanta? Like, get out of here. He broke that. Like, come on. Like, he's going to kill it. And then I think what's going to happen is I believe it's going to be after. So it's going to show us, once again, more of the universe that we don't know. More of the colored universe, more of the black universe, the Latino Mexicans, whatever. I'm here for it. I want representation. And I want Donald Glover to lead me down the force in such a way that I would fall in love. In fact, could they have Space Atlanta? That would be dope.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this: we are talking about a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
So we're not talking about our galaxy. We're talking about a galaxy far, far away. Right. So maybe Black people live on another planet. Maybe people live on another planet. Who knows?
I hope this. All right. Don't put a 40 in there. Don't put a chalice, and we're all good. All right. I'm sorry.
I hate you. Mute his mic. Mute his mic.
Bergy, Lando, and thoughts and theories of where you think this storyline will take. I think it's going to continue off right after the movie Solo, continuing on after his ship, and he has, his his fortress.
Yeah, I think you're going to see. I mean, if it's not Donald Glover, Gambino, you got to have this dude as it. He absolutely portrayed that role perfect, as if it was, the original actor. You had him there. He was perfect. That's like they're never going to recast, Black Panther. They're not going to recast this role. It has to go to him. If not, no one's going to take the role. It's going to be horrible. He was perfectly spot on. I think they're going to finish off more of it afterwards. So we hear all the stories he and Han always, have the inside jokes upon. So we're going to find out about that. How did he get Cloud City? He became an owner of Cloud City. How? He's a gambler. What did he do? He obviously is against the Empire and he's in debt to them somehow. So what did he do to get his, his notoriety up there? I mean, he's a gambler that's basically a scoundrel just as much as Han Solo is. He's also a ladies' man, so we're going to find out some stuff. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be just fantastic. It's going to be a great series. I look forward to it.
All right. Can I just say something? I don't know if y'all saw Donald Glover when he was on Saturday Night Live, but he did a scene where they were at a resort where they had a gathering of all the Black people in Star Wars, and it was only about 4 people in the audience. And even then, he made a comment about dating alien women. And he said, I love dating alien women because it's always a surprise when everything comes off.
Oh,
that's what he said. That was one of the funniest scenes I have ever seen. And he was playing Lando. But I did hear that Billy D. Williams may be coming to voice over that show, series, to talk about the history, like to be the background, as if he's doing it from a first
narrator
perspective. Yes.
Ooh, that's awesome.
I can guarantee that probably Donald Glover is going.
Are we gonna get General's fried chicken on the episode as well too, or no?
Out of here! Get out of here!
No. No, I would come over there and slap the.
If no one's ever seen the movie, I blame them. All right, so.
No, we gonna see that. But I am curious. Aren't y'all curious? What happened to the POCs? What happened to people of color? In that universe. And we know that there are some because they made an appearance. So
I mean, obviously there was a Black person, so there had to be 2 Black people that made it and had them. So there's got to be more. We
must be from a different galaxy, but I'll take that because we are.
As much as it's gonna sound strange, we are gonna jump in for like 2 seconds on the Black Panther thing for just a brief second. Black Panther did announce during the investors day that they are not. As I repeated, and we have repeated many times here, that they are not recasting Chadwick Boseman and they are not recasting Black Panther. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say this one more time. They are not recasting Black Panther. Moving on. uh, the next in the line. Here's another weird one: Falcon and Winter Soldier. You know what? Mayhem, why don't you? Right, let me kind of set this up for you, man. Let's have you take this away.
Okay, first of all, before we begin, pause the video. Pause the video. Pause the video. Y'all see this shirt? Okay, you see this shirt? You see this shirt? Okay. If you don't like the actor,
I'm sorry, the
Hold on.
name is over. Yeah.
Yeah, your name's
okay,
over.
I'm
there.
sorry. Let me stand up
There you
there.
go.
See this shirt?
Yeah.
You see this shirt? Okay. The idea that it represents. You may not like the actual actor. You may not like how it was portrayed in certain comic books, but Captain America was the best at the MCU, I believe. Team Cap all the way. Iron Man was trash. Let's continue with the trailer, shall we?
Oh,
Right down the gauntlet.
Spicy.
What?
Go ahead.
Spicy. So right off the bat, we have the Falcon. He's talking about how the shield, he went from talking about how it was it belonged to somebody else and how it's complicated. And now we're gonna go through the whole trailer and you're gonna see it looks the Winter Soldier obviously Bucky going through it looks like Madripoor, which is one of those islands you can't legally get to, and they're looking for something. Now, I wish we had sound. That suitcase looks like it's from Tony Stark, so it's a new suit. That suit looks awesome. Look at it. Look. His shape up looks great. So now he's talking. That looks like a Zemo right there. Boom. That looks like, the U.S. agent. Come on. Come on. Oh, I'm kind of feeling Bucky with the short hair, but I'm kind of not. But whatever. I'll let it slide. They're going through so much stuff. Now, forget this for 1 second. Forget the action scenes. Who are they chasing? I believe with this series, it's not just one bad guy. It's not just Zemo. Although Zemo's good, he's a mastermind and he can do all these different things. But what is he up to? I believe there's going to be another Captain America they have to face. I believe it's not the U.S. agent. And when this trailer stops, I'm gonna reveal who we kind of spoke about earlier. Because if it is, it's going to be dope. Remember when Sam was also talking about fighting? They did this scene in Captain Marvel, and he talked about fighting beforehand in that canyon scene, and he did it again. He's talking about the bionic arm. They're having a little bro moment. It's cool. I believe the next actual Captain America that we have to go against is going to be Isaiah Bradley, the first Black Captain America, who the Falcon is going to have to face. I don't know if he's going to be the season 1. I don't know when, but he's going to be it. And ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little backstory. Because you're like, no, Steve Rogers has always been Captain America. Technically, in a universe so far, far away, in a multiverse universe, what happened was there was supposedly tested, the U.S. government was testing the super soldier serum on colored soldiers first, and then white soldiers. So technically, Isaiah Bradley was the first Captain America. We don't know what happened. Do you see what Disney's doing with this?
Go ahead, Leslie.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Back in the day, when any government was testing anything on Black people, it was not a good thing. I'm just going to tell you. Because the U.S. government tested Black people with syphilis, with radiation, and these people signed up not knowing what they were signing up for, but they were getting a paycheck for it, but they weren't disclosing what was the content of this. And I believe that this is what happened in this. And you're going to see another side of our government that you're not used to seeing. Because when they found out that it was effective, then they started testing it on white soldiers.
Yep.
When they found out it was effective. What happened to all those other Black soldiers that got the injection?
Well, this is Marvel. This is the comics, and if you want to really get a head start on it, go and get that short series. Go get the Captain America U.S. Agent series. So go happy hunting, guys, because if he's right, hashtag cut that check.
Cut the check.
I
TV went up
think
just
he
the
is
right
right.
time. Listen, I don't think you guys are ready. First of all, I love the fact that they're focusing more on the Falcon than Bucky. Because I was worried that they were going to focus on Bucky and kind of make Bucky the star. But I cannot wait to see my boy Sam, see the Falcon actually swing that shield. I can't wait. Notice throughout the trailer, they didn't show that this time. We've seen a previous trailer before where he was practicing with it. Now it's like he doesn't want to touch it. What's going on? What's going to make him actually kind of like get the shield? And if he doesn't have the shield, why was it taken from him? Who has it? What is Baron Zemo up to? They gave us so much and so little. They gave us so much. I'm so ready for this series alone.
Right. There have been rumors that they have their other white Captain America, their other U.S. agent, and there have been screenshots and pictures of him already. And if you are correct on that theory alone, which I was hoping that they were going to do, he's been hoping, she's super excited because she has never read the story. This will be an exciting thing because this will be the first time we will have two of the Black Captain Americas on the same screen, not on the same page. For happen, it'll be on the same screen, and this is something that Stan Lee tried to do many, many years ago and has failed not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Even I got goosebumps thinking about it.
How many seasons do you think we're gonna get? How many seasons do you think we're gonna get with this?
I think we're getting 2 seasons only.
I think 2. I think 2 to 3.
We're getting 2. 3 will be pushing it unless they're not part of the phase for the next movie line. But it'll probably be 2 if it does well into 3, but it'll be open for their movie line if it happens. Because if they do a really strong job, this goes right into either 1 or 2 Captain America movies or the return of Bucky as Captain America. This opens up those crazy doors. If they have 4 Captain Americas, remember, U.S. agent, where's the shield, has worn it. And here's the kicker, and I'm really hoping I'm going to give someone a bit of an Easter egg, or not so much Easter egg. If they now have the rights for Punisher, because we don't have the original Captain America. Remember, we are going with this. This is the storyline of there is no Steven Rogers as Captain America. The other 5th Captain America would be the Punisher. And the Punisher has worn the Captain America cowl and suit and he's rocked the shield. Could they, if it leads into, if he's not in by season 2, by season 3, we should have all 5. If they do the screw up of 6, and the reason why I say 6 and he's way over here, this is the 9/11 Black Captain America that failed for 4 comics. But if they get the 5 on one screen, it'll be their own version of Captain America Civil War.
Yo, that's like Doomsday with the return of the Superman, and there were 3 Supermen. That could be Marvel's own Superman. Leslie, how many seasons do you think we're gonna get? Now that he said that, how many seasons?
How many seasons?
I honestly feel this way about it. I know you are predicting only 3 seasons, but this has something to do with the fan base.
Right.
Because if fans want more, they're going to continue it. They'll continue doing whatever. There'll be offshoots of it or whatever. I'm excited about it. I feel like, let's just see. But I'm thinking, honestly, to be conservative about it, I would say 3. But who knows? Because if the fans really love this alliance and they love the storylines that's coming with it and everything, there's so much that they can do with this universe. The possibilities are endless right now with this universe.
They are.
And the content. And speaking about Punisher, I did hear that the fans are really pushing Disney right now to take all of those Netflix shows and revisit those Netflix shows again on the Disney streaming network, because they still had fans. Jessica Jones for the Punisher and everything. They're trying to get people they're trying to do that.
Bergy, you got a comment for that one?
They want to redo the series because now they have them back and they want to redo everyone. The only one that they're guaranteed to bring back is going to be Daredevil, the original actor. He's the only one guaranteed, and they don't want to put it on Disney Plus because Disney Plus has a thing of they want it more PG-13, more PG friendly, family wise. They also remember, but here's where you hold on.
Daredevil had a lot of blood scenes, fight scenes,
the brutality in that.
Right. Here's the thing.
Can't put it for Disney.
Disney's got to put it in there. Disney also owns Hulu.
Yep.
That's going to go right to Hulu. So that's now they can kind of wash their hands where it's like, oh, hey, we don't have a bloody mess on Disney Plus because that's a kid-friendly one. Oh, we have Hulu.
Right.
Here you go. Go nuts, Punisher. Go nuts, Jessica Jones. You deal with
Wolf
them a
and
bloody
Fist on many episodes has snapped a lot of necks. You can't have a lot of snapping necks for the children.
And you got to figure. Also, think about it this way:
you can have matricide and patricide. Your dad and your mother can be killed off on a Disney show.
That's it. Yeah, no, that's true.
Fact of life, though, they kind of stick that under the rug. Go ahead, Bergy.
They lift the rug up and go a little under and close it. But you got to figure they're going to put a lot of these stuff on the Hulu channels because they're going to want to push the Hulu network more too. So I wouldn't be surprised even if we see maybe one of these, maybe Star Wars series that could be a little more violent, a little more brutal, could go to Hulu. Something like that as a spinoff just to push that subscriber base, because now that's going to be something that they're going to want to push. To go back with the winner and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't think we're going to see all 5 on one screen. There's no way they're going to allow Punisher to be on that. No way. You might get 3.
I disagree.
I think we're getting 3 max. I think
in 3 seasons.
I disagree with you. I disagree. I think we're going to get 3, and I think we're going to get 2 right off the bat, and they're going to save one season. I believe at the end of season 2, we're going to get the 4 or 5 if they're going with what we're talking about. Definitely the 4 or 5, Captain America, and the offshoot.
Captain America's 5 will be later. There's no way to have. There's no way to have John Barrowman.
I think it will happen. I still think it would happen. But let's just say I'm wrong. 4. Let's just say 4. We'll still get them all on one screen. Excuse me. The 3rd season most likely will lead into something else. Because Disney is not stupid. They definitely construct things and they keep us in the dark and they lead us on. It's like Hansel and Gretel with the breadcrumbs, man. I'm telling you, they just keep leading us and we just keep eating it.
But Mayhem, if they don't have 4 on the same screen, would you be okay with 3 with 1 with a backstory of
we got Isaiah Bradley. We're talking Isaiah Bradley, right?
Yep.
So he comes with a lot of baggage, even though he's Captain America. So realistically, I love the fact that Marvel comics are more realistic and a little bit politically correct in a sense. So there's Isaiah Bradley. Then we got Falcon, who's already dealing with the mantle. Then we got U.S. Agent or whoever else will come in that season. So 3 different points of view of what it means to be Captain America, except Captain America himself. So far, we don't know if he's even going to be included in the series. We don't know if they're going to be talking to him or anything.
Could there be a CGI version of Jarvis? I mean, of Steve Rogers lingering around too? I mean, Tony Stark did do scientific experiments on all of his fellow Avengers.
I think they'll reference it in the beginning. Maybe.
Right, but this helps us get into the next segment, and that is the crazy What If series. If everyone remembers the cartoon series, there was a lot of spin-offs where it came as if we had a British Captain America, and that helped us get a new character down the line as well too. What if Wolverine was the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.? So on, and him being married to Mystique. These were all one-off stories from Marvel Studios. This isn't your turn this time. Guess whose turn is this time? This is Bergy. Oh no, this is Bergy. Let Bergy take this, and then you can have whatever you want to say right after this. But Bergy, take it away.
So when we're watching this What If series here, we got a lot of different references, and we're seeing some different stuff here. So this here with where you see Nick Fury, dusting that off. Now we're looking at Star-Lord. You have the Sorcerer Supreme. There's a lot of different rumors going around here. This, I think here where you see, this is Black Panther, but now he is part of Star-Lord. He's going to be in outer space as if he went there, because in the original one, Star-Lord looked a little scared. This one looks like he's excited. He wants to visit other places. This is a direct kind of correlation of what they did the original Captain America, but it's Peggy Carter, and this is where we get Captain Britain, sorry. And we also see where she's going to have this, where we see the Iron Man and we see Steve Rogers, where it's the skinny armed Steve Rogers. This is where you see Yondu. And I think now my question is, are they going to do where he would be part of Ego, or is he separate? So there's a lot of stuff there. So is he part of Ego? We don't know. I'm liking this storyline, and I'm loving that Chadwick Boseman actually recorded the voices for that, which makes me so happy. We do see a lot of different things in it. I mean, there's so much stuff to touch upon in this storyline. We are seeing the Watcher. This is I cannot remember the Watcher's name, what they've been talking about for him. But he's the one that we basically see as the same one that referenced with Stan Lee in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, in that cutscene that they see. You see him with Dum Dum Dugan there. You see her there. I mean, it's just so much stuff to cut down. I'm going to wait till the end and then just tell you everybody for what I think for my storylines that I think you're going to see plots. So what I think is we're getting Black Panther and Star-Lord with Collector. You also see Howard the Duck in there. So we're going to get that with Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think they're redoing that. We are going to see Sorcerer Supreme. It's supposed to be evil himself, but I also think that's a Super Skrull that he's battling. Because if you watch his hand when it came through, it was all like green and looked something. So is that Mordu? Is it
stretchy as it came in with a bit of the thing coming?
Right. So I thought it was Super Skrull, is my opinion. We got Peggy Carter as Super Soldier, basically Captain Britannia. Steve in the Iron Man suit. You have Bucky versus Captain Zombie, Captain America. That's why I think where we see Nick Fury dusting off the shield, and I think that's where Cap came back to life, but somehow something happened, he died, and we get the zombie apocalypse, and now that's why we're getting the zombie version. And Bucky is kind of immune to it because he's a super soldier in a way. I think we're going to see the Watcher in it, where they're showing that we have Thor, and there's a scene where you see Thor with Hawkeye up top about to shoot him, but obviously they stopped that. So are we going to see Jane with the hammer, or do we see Loki with the hammer? Because then in another scene, you see Loki flipping the hammer, and he's holding it. So we could get the what if Loki was the guy now as the superhero in a way. They're also talking about from what I've done for some research on this, not any one of these are all friends or your normal Avengers in every single episode. Each episode is going to touch upon its own storyline. There's supposed to be 10 different storylines. I've picked out 7 that I can see from the actual trailer. So that's where I think it's going to go. We shall see what they're going to do. I'm so looking forward to this. It's animation. This is, if anybody's ever read the What If series, they have done a phenomenal job with some of these series. If you have not, please go to your local comic store, pick up a What If series, and it's absolutely amazing. One of my favorites, actually, is not even from Marvel. Stan Lee did a What If for DC, and he literally changed the game on every single character, and those were amazing. Just imagine now they did this for a cartoon series for the Marvel series. Guys, seriously, pick them up and then watch the cartoons. You're going to be blown away.
I'm waiting to see if they're going to do Thing, and because there was that little series as well too. Thing, because after the Fantastic Four sort of retired, Thing had his own team of other superheroes. Will we get that as well too? I like if anyone has any stories or things that they like to see changed, or who would you like to see take on different mantles? And to be honest, who's excited for Chadwick Boseman? I say last piece of his final work. Not only has his live action movie coming out very soon with Denzel Washington, we will also have him playing Star-Lord in the What If series as well too. I know it's a sad moment, but guess what? Having him be from Wakanda, being Star-Lord, I like to see a little quick, gritty moment where he's a bit of a jerk for 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. That'd be very funny if he does. We don't know yet.
I, in my opinion, I mean, this is his last piece of work, but I think that this is my overall feeling about everything that he did while he was sick. I can't get that out of my mind. I'm excited that he was able to accomplish this and that he's going to go on forever in perpetuity, everything that he's done. But if I had to take that out of context, I would say that that's probably the saddest moment of the What If series that I'm going to be looking at. And everything else is going to be joyous, but that's going to be a sad moment for me.
Hey, sad moment, but probably a good moment, because if they get the cut the check moment, which is called an Academy Award or a Golden Globe, all is never in vain, and his legacy will forever lead on. Go ahead, Mayhem.
Let me tell you something real quick, right? First of all, stop sleeping on Marvel right now for the inclusion of female superheroes, okay? Mm-hmm. Y'all forget Natalie Portman is working on being Jane, aka Thor, right now as we speak, and it's hush, hush. Now, going back to Captain Britain, Bergy, you know who I thought that was? Miss Chavez. You know who Miss Chavez is?
Yes.
America Chavez.
There you go. Who's to say that won't happen once they get positive reviews for this?
But by the way,
That's on the list.
America Chavez is coming in a certain movie in a few, in a while. She's going to be introduced. I'm not going to say where.
It's called a sequel to something.
Yeah.
It's called a sequel to something. So
No, a sequel. No, a sequel to something.
It's a sequel to something. Okay, cool.
A sequel to something.
We have that coming along. I'm so excited for that. Thank you for that. Second thing is, the first thing was originally Mia. Thank you for that comment because I believe me and Leslie were dying of the same thing. We were dying.
That's what we were laughing about, Hash.
Yes. So that was beautiful. The last thing I do want to say is I agree with you, Hash. These are all going to be different storylines of what if, and if they're smart, they'll continue to do it. It's like you remember Love, Sex, and Robots on Netflix?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Just give us that series. If we're loving, this will be exactly like Love, Sex, and Robots.
Yeah.
They're gonna blow it out the park. Yo, they are raising the bar with this. They are raising the bar, and chances are, I swear, chances are, if Chadwick Boseman blows it out the water as Star-Lord, who's more adventurous than the original Star-Lord that we know, and he's just like kind of like braggadocious about it, I'm buying this series and I'm never opening it, okay? And like, that is what a classic looks like when I tell my kids, that is what watch it. You watch. I understand I'm a person of color, but you got to understand good acting, good ethic, good work.
Yes.
Back to you, Hash.
All right. So, if you had to pick a Marvel character, who would you like them to play if they had to switch? If they had to switch roles, they had to switch genders, who would you want them to be? Mayhem, let's start with you.
I already have it. Natalie Portman's playing Jane Thor.
Someone else. Someone else that is not coming out. No, don't give me Loki, which he'll give me a Loki and he'll give me why, but don't give me Jane, which is already coming out. Don't give me anything else. Give me someone no one's thinking about. Someone that's not on any on the phases just yet.
Come back to me
right.
Because all
Leslie.
in my mind,
Fantastic
for X-Men, right? We're all looking for X-Men and obviously anything right now. But I'll come back.
Yeah,
Bergy, what do you think?
I mean, if we're changing people up and we're gonna do something like that,
right?
Got it.
Oh man, that's tough because they cast everybody pretty well in this one around. But honestly, one I wouldn't mind seeing that if I think that they did a gender bend on it, would have been a Captain America. Like to pick a different female for that and give me somebody that almost looked like a Wonder Woman style character, like thin, whatever. I don't care, person of color, whatever, doesn't matter to me. But give me somebody like that as a Captain America. I think that'd be
bodybuilding captain, like a bodybuilder.
No, you don't need.
Or you're looking for an average.
You don't need to be. Yeah, I don't think you need to have like the muscles and whatnot. I think just an average looking female. I don't care what color, person of color, anything doesn't mean nothing like that. Just pick someone who can act and can fill that role well. I think it'd be perfect because then you would show that you're not discriminating against any color, creed, nationality, whatever. You're not doing body, dysmorphia. You're not, doing that. Like they don't have to be all buff. They don't have to be skinny. Let the girl have a little, little chunk in the trunk. I don't care. A little thickness. That'd be great. Like that's just me. But I'd be okay with that.
Can I say one thing to that, Bergy?
Not everybody that has a superpower is buff.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Look at Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is a thick girl. She's not, exactly fit.
I'm waiting for them to finally bring in Squirrel Girl, but it looks like she may be introduced with another series that they're working on with probably 2 more other characters. We probably won't have enough time to get to her. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But Mayhem, do you have a name that you like to see switch and everything?
First of all, we can't talk about Wonder Woman sexually because of what they did to her in the Justice League with all those crotch shots. Y'all forget, but I didn't. It was trash. That movie was trash. Anyway, I mean, it could have been better. Let me say that. Second of all, I would love to see the Punisher, and if it's not a woman, but I would love the Keanu Reeves to come as the Punisher, just to see, or just to kind of like just throw me a bone here. Daniel Craig from 007. He would have to dye his hair, unfortunately, because Daniel Craig speaks with his face a lot. Daniel, if you watch the old Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and the other one, which name I can't forget. He speaks with his face. He sucked in Cowboys and Aliens, but
Yeah.
aside from that, he
That
does
whole
speak with
movie
his
was
face.
bad.
As Punisher, I think he would kill it. I always liked the first Punisher. The second one with John Travolta, I was like, this is not it. But if they could redo the Punisher, I think it would
Right.
be dope.
Yeah,
I
the
think
You want the
Dolph
fee? Okay.
Lundgren
So
Punisher
for
was
what
good.
if? Right. So what if Mayhem wants the female Punisher? Leslie, who would you like to see in a what if series? Like quick change. Who would you like to see? You like to see, but I don't know. Pick a character, pick a Marvel character, and
Yes, that's so
change him up.
hard.
The
That is so
Lizard.
Exactly,
hard.
guys. If you're listening and you're watching right now, who would you think,
Let us know.
or who would you like to see? It doesn't have to be gender swapping or whatever. It could be a role
How about a
positioning.
female Blade?
Like we can have Beast running the X-Men, or we can have Ms. Captain. Invisible Girl, be a member of the Avengers. Thanos, who's now a member of Shield. Those kind of theories. It doesn't have to be just the characters that you know. It could be other characters. Who would you like to see? One more time with Leslie, and then we go on. That's not happening.
No, I mean,
We already got that. We already
think
got that
I would
cast
love
ready.
to see a female Blade. But
Okay,
I guess
female Blade.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
female Blade.
Okay.
What?
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
badass.
Well, the Van Helsing series is doing very well, and that could be a nice little change into the Marvel stories. Not a bad. I'm okay with that one too. All
I'll be
right,
down with female Blade.
on with the gender changing as well too. I'm gonna go with let's change a Nick Fury and have her as a Nicole Fury. So let's just go with that one. Why not? Hey, we're going for it anyway. And it only takes time. There's Marvel has extensive, I believe 120 some issues of the what ifs. No, less than that. I'm sorry. They're probably under 100 comics of the what if series. And all anyone has to do is pick up a what if comic book and get their idea of what to come next. Some of you guys said they'd like to see Keanu Reeves. I mean, that's not happening as Moon Knight, because we all know Moon Knight's already cast with Apocalypse, aka Ivan Ooze. We'll see how that goes. I'm for Oscar, but but will the cowl and mask stay on? Because in the Moon Knight series, that cowl never came off. So will it stay on throughout the whole entire series? Little bit difference, but we do have one more trailer to go to, and we're gonna give this one more time. Yes, we're gonna talk about, as we kept talking about, Loki, because if anyone watched the trailer, my man, it's gonna be everyone's favorite movie to be coming out. So you know it. All right, Mayhem, take it away.
First of all, it's Loki. Okay, what they did with Loki is so brilliant. Right now, we all know where this is from. The Tesseract is gonna get away. Boom, is gonna get kicked. Ant-Man, boom, does thing.
Yeah, the scenes from Endgame.
Yes, I got the Tesseract. Boom, here comes the Hulk. Nah, there we go. And then, of course, Loki does what any one of us would do. He grabs the Tesseract. Now,
yes,
when he lands, right? Boom. Pause it right here for 1 second. It uses the Bifrost technology. Did anybody notice that? It uses the Bifrost technology. And then he wakes up in the sand without it. And what movie does this remind you of? Quick 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thor.
Anybody? Huh?
Thor.
No. Iron Man. Remember when Tony Stark landed in the desert?
Yes.
Play it. Play my stuff. Play that trailer. So maybe this is a redeeming arc for Loki. Maybe he'll change his life around. So he wakes up in the sand. He doesn't have the Tesseract. Bifrost technology. Boom. Now, I forgot what they're called, but I believe they're the officers of TVA as well. They stop people from messing with different timelines because that's been the thing. So multiverse, this is going to lead into the multiverse madness. We know that's coming up. And he asks, where are you taking me to kill me? And he's like, jail. No, they're going to take him because pretty much they're going to offer him a deal. Oh, my God. Owen Wilson, bro? Come on. He looks great.
I will tell you who Owen Wilson looks like, and it's been a theory of who his character is, but it's not really him. But go ahead.
Okay, cool. So he's the head. He's telling Loki about himself, and he's just like, you love to talk. How long you been here? Boom, boom, boom. Now, what you're gonna see soon is a hooded figure. I believe these guys have hired Loki to stop Loki from himself. And those hooded figures are all multiverse Lokis because right here he says Splendid, if I'm not mistaken. He says Splendid because he's looking to the multiverse mirrors and he's seeing himself, obviously, doing what Loki does. They're going to show him pretty much what's going to happen if he stays the path and how he dies. He looks away for a reason. Right now, he's pretty much going through the technology. They're bringing him in. That girl's important. I forgot her name. I'll come back to that. Obviously, the knife. Woo! The moon is blown up. Oh my God, Black Widow. What's going to happen there? Why is New York looking like that? Wait, can you go back for 1 second? Can you go back to the New York City?
And Agent. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so New York, right there. Stop. You see the Avengers Tower right there? It's crooked. What happened? What happened? It's crooked, destroyed. You know, did Sokovia? What happened? Did Sokovia do it? Did World War Hulk come? Like, there's so many things.
Oh.
I believe there's a rumor that Loki playing this guy is an actual guy.
Loki's also an agent for Shield.
No, they believe he's one of the guys. The FBI CIA never caught.
That's DB Sweeney right there.
There you go.
Cooper.
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper.
Yes,
Cooper, right.
they never caught him. So like, there's so many. Oh, pause right here. Pause right here. They're definitely giving us so many Easter eggs and so many things. But the reason why Loki is shown in different letters is because we're going to see so many different multiverse Lokis, which is why I believe all those hooded figures are Loki in a sense, and they need Loki's help, main universe Loki, to stop Loki. This is what we wanted. This, thank you. No, thank you. This is the Christmas gift I didn't know I always wanted, but you gave and I needed. Oh, thank you. Oh, you don't understand.
Good guy Loki. You know, maybe there's a teaser. There's one storyline where there is a female Loki. Will she be introduced into the series too?
There's the Mad Max version of Loki too. There, like, come on. He had to vote for Loki. It's going to happen. I'm giving this. Whew, a 10. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 because Loki has been my favorite-ish, but now he's my favorite. I need to see where this goes. I need to see and I think you do too. Come closer. You need to know. You need to know what Loki is. And how does he get back? And what does he get back to?
Well, don't forget, at one point, remember, we saw the trailer. At one point, that is Asgard. Did Asgard get rebuilt? Because that light that comes to go get him is the light of Asgard. Was Asgard rebuilt?
Was that Odin? Which Odin is it? Or is it
Odin?
Thor?
Which Thor? Is this also right after where we get Jane Foster Thor? So there is that. As Mayhem added, I'm giving you the extra 3 possibilities after watching the trailer as well too. And I like to say one thing though: if you are a true fan of the late 80s and early 90s, Owen Wilson with the mustache represent an editor-in-chief that passed away back in 1996, and that is Mr. Mark Greenwald. Mark Greenwald was beloved by every single artist and writer in Marvel, that just like Stan Lee cameoing in every single comic in the background, Mark Greenwald was also cameoed in almost every single comic from the late 80s to early 90s. This is a Stan Lee-esque cameo, but as one of the beloved editor-in-chiefs of Marvel Comics. This is what the fan rumors are saying. This is what all the artists and former staff members of Marvel have been saying, that Owen Wilson looks like Mark Greenwald. Good man. Give us more.
You make me
Can we
wonder
get
why.
a picture of him, of Mark Greenwald? Possibly.
What's up?
Well, do we have a picture of Mark Greenwald?
I will show it to you guys. I will post it on facebook.com/Evo Comics Inc. of the late Mark Greenwald. And actually, if you go on the page, there are some previous posts I put up when me and a few other people through his anniversary passing, his tribute 4 or 5 years ago in New York City. We did have a party with that.
Listen, you may be wondering why I put on his face shield. And the reason being is because right now, Marvel is so sick right now. So sick. Like, they have so many different multiverse things going on.
They're spitting.
Y'all don't understand. Like, in the foreground, in the background. And Bergy, believe it or not, I forgot his name. I think it's Zandieh is the Watcher's name. But in a sense, he's to replace Stan Lee, who was originally rumored to be the Watcher in a sense.
Yep.
We may get that in Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may get that.
I mean, to touch upon with some of the stuff you talked about for the Loki trailer. So a lot of the stuff that they're doing the guy that is Owen Wilson's playing, the guy's name is Mobius. Mobius is actually, he's kind of a lawyer, which is funny. He's a lawyer for the Time Vanishes Authority, which is the TVA that we see on there. So he has basically been the guy that has prosecuted the Fantastic Four. He's prosecuted She-Hulk. He's prosecuted other people that have broken the time continuum. So why not go after somebody like Loki for it? So he's going to do this. I think they're basically taking Loki to basically fix the timeline. And when you're showing that New York Avengers Tower there, what if that was because of what happens if we didn't defeat Loki and that basically is what
Avengers
New York
and everything.
Yeah.
The team never was assembled.
Right, the team didn't assemble. What if that was like a what if thing, and now that's what happens to Detroit? He has to go back there to get them all together.
This looks like a multitude or multiverse of what ifs and through Loki. And it looked like something greenish stone was running around. It looked like something of a Doctor Strange was lurking in one of the scenes in the background as well, too.
Did you notice that one of the main things that you see also is Rock's cart? So if anybody played any of the Spider-Man and the villains and the bad people in all the Spider-Man and all the Marvel, Roxxon has been in almost every movie in the background. So we're going to see them. So I think he's going after Roxxon. Maybe Roxxon's done something to tamper with the timeline to fit their own needs. So he's there to fix that in a way. One thing I want to know is at the end, and I thought this was the best thing, was where you see Loki and he's got the vote for Loki. So if anybody remembers back in 2016, there was a whole thing where they were doing a comic line that was like a pandering against Trump and Hillary, and they made vote for Loki. And it was him kissing a baby and everything like that. So this one, we see him vote for Loki and some of his bad guys that were with him, all with the Loki sign. And then they turn on him. So these people that he's met through the different timelines, and now they're there. And I'm sorry, the history, the DB Cooper reference, oh God, it was beautiful.
Yes.
I absolutely love that Marvel threw that in there just to be like, hey, no one ever knows whatever happened to DB Cooper. What if it was him? They're based on that. And then the Bygard, that I think could have been done by Thor or Jane, and maybe she pulled him because now that's part of the Stormbreaker. Remember, because he added the Bifrost as part of the axe now, so he doesn't need Asgard to do that. So he just has the axe. So he could have pulled him out of there, just to be like, "What are you doing? You're causing trouble," type deal. And I don't know. Maybe it leads into something.
Jane. And maybe Jane is the one that pulled them. But don't forget, this is the alternate verse one, because the stone, if everyone's watched Endgame, Loki has the Tesseract.
Yep.
And how far we're gonna go? Is this new phase heading to the Tesseract? Are we getting the one? Remember, this is only one season. Where will this lead to? Where will this go? Remember, that last scene goes right into Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah.
What if this is their way? What if this is their way of like resetting the Avengers in a way, and swapping out why we don't have Captain America anymore? Why we don't have Black Widow? Why is Black Widow sitting on an asteroid somewhere looking?
Right.
Is she part of Volmir? Is she now took over Red Skull's job?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much
Bergy.
stuff. I'm sorry to do the Mayhem thing. It's like,
Yes. Yes. Cut the check though.
As much as you watched the trailer and he put it out, there is a scene with Black Widow.
Yep.
A nice little tidbit. And yes, maybe one of the shots, maybe the guy in the cloth is maybe his Red Skull. There have been rumors that Red Skull is about to appear in the series. Not only will Kang be the main villain for the next phase, but Red Skull is lurking in that background. With the Tesseract now in play and not returned to the proper places prior, and Loki having that Tesseract, would be. What if?
This Marvel is killing us for the next 5 years minimum, just in storylines.
We are just going to continue with the what ifs because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, everyone alike that loves the Mandalorian, you know what time it is. Because why? We did say in the second hour. Spoilers are ahead. If you have not watched the latest episode of The Mandalorian, which is episode 7, chapter 15, called The Believer. Yes, I already spoiled it just on title alone. Back off. It's cool. You don't have to watch us. You can watch us tomorrow though. back,
Should have
back
already watched the Mandalorian by now.
Right, should have, because by tomorrow because look, tomorrow's Mando Monday. You know, all the new toys are coming out. By Tuesday, you get all the cool Funko Pops, and then also by Tuesday, him and I are talking about all the new Mandalorian action figures that are coming out. And especially you've been watching us lately, every single episode has had a Mandalorian toy. What, Mayhem? Did you want to add something to this real quick before I continue on and tell you guys?
I was doing a Jedi. I was telling my inner great Jedi.
Make the noise. Remember when Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor were put in the role, when they started doing the lightsaber scenes, they were still doing the voices on the set.
You know you're a Star Wars fan, and you know damn well you're a Star Wars fan when you finish a wrapping paper from wrapping Christmas gifts, and you look over that tube and you go, it's a lightsaber. It's about to go down. You get that, and you're like, zoom, zoom, and you say, no, seriously, like we're all kids at heart. We love Star Wars.
What if it was the baseball bat? What if it was the He-Man sword? What was the He-Man sword back then? I got the He-Man.
Wrapping paper or broomstick. Boom, boom, boom. Come on.
All right. Anyway, as we're continuing on, I'm going to say this before I put the screen back on me. This week started yet again with another what if question, and that is, what if Grogu was not part of this episode? That's exactly what happened in this episode. This episode begins, yes, Grogu / Baby Yoda free. This episode begins freeing Migs Mayfield. As you know, he was the ex-Imperial sharpshooter, and Mando delivered him to the New Republic prison back in Season 1, Chapter 6. Well, right away, within anyone getting hurt, Cara Dune abuses her authority figure powers and bends the rules and gets him out of the prison. Here comes Boba Fett with his brand new armor, brand new shiny shade of color. Well, not really, it's more matted. And we all know, toy sales, cha-ching. Din and Dune explain that they need Mayfield's help to get the coordinates for Moff Gideon. Mayfield agrees to help Mando and his team. Mayfield can't get the coordinates unless he gets access to an Imperial terminal. Apparently, Mayfield knows a secret mining hub on Morak, and they set sail to Morak. Once on the planet, the team makes a plan to get inside the mining base, but there is one problem. The Imperial terminal must be scanned with someone's face, and since the team cannot join Mayfield, because why? They've all been scanned from clones, so being Imperial troopers themselves too at one point, Din joins Mayfield. They jack a couple of stormtrooper outfits, just like New Hope, get on an Imperial vehicle, and make their way to the mine. But they have a little defense on the way. The locals on Mordak are not pleased with the Imperial forces, and they try to stop in their tracks. Well, they make it through. Once in the base, they find the Imperial terminal. But oh no, Mayfield is recognizing someone by the name of Valen Hess, which is Mayfield's former commander officer, and does not enter the room for the terminal. Instead, Doom goes in, goes to the terminal access. He has to remove his helmet. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Din's face is one more time revealed and scanned to get the coordinates for Din. While this gets the coordinates for Moff Gideon. While Din is getting scanned, the former commanding officer Hess notices Mando at the terminal and proceeds to question him. Mayfield jumps in, answers the questions for Doom, and they decide to join him at the table and have a drink. Hess and Mayfield have a little bit of a history. They exchange battle, and like a Vietnam veteran flashback, Mayfield is angry, shoots Hess, and the battle begins at the mines, and they make their way out as soon as possible, as fast as they can. Don't worry, all of our heroes, including Mayfield, all get picked up by Boba Fett, and before they leave, Mayfield takes one more shot at the base while using Mando's rifle, shoots the vehicle full of explosive, blows up the mine base. Later, Kara does not return Mayfield to the prison. Instead, lets him go. And then our episode ends as our Mandalorian sends a chilling message to Moff Gideon of what a father would do, or what a father would say to a kidnapper. Yes, that's right. I just gave you guys all the like notes and stuff.
Word.
Everyone I
I
know
will
has
find
watched
you
this
and I
episode.
will kill you. I have
Yes,
a
Well,
I know.
Leslie,
Take it.
let's start
Yeah.
with you. You're already on this. Your thoughts on the episode. Let's go with like the very beginning of like the episode and stuff. What did you think when Kara abused her powers and literally got Mayfield out of the prison?
I think her trust in Mando is so implicit that she, obviously well, let's just face it right here. The minute everybody found out that the kid was kidnapped, that was like, oh, all horse bar.
We're on the hunt.
Yeah, we're on the hunt because that baby, everybody loves that baby. So they love Grogu. So I knew that she was going to definitely supersede her authority,
Yes.
and do whatever it took. Plus, she trusts Mando. She's been, in battle with him. She's seen him work. She knows that, really, I guess she knows the relationship that he has with the kid.
Yeah.
So that was a done data. We knew that. Plus, it drove the storyline. You have to say, if that hadn't happened, if she had agreed not to, I mean, I'm sure Mando would have done it himself, but it would have been ugly, and it probably would not have been any survivals. At that he needed that special force, that special team to do what they did.
All right. Well, when they got on the planet Mayhem, what did you think? Giving I guess a little flashback from A New Hope, where Luke and Han Solo put on the stormtrooper outfits, and you got Din and Mayfield doing almost the same exact thing. What were your thoughts with that little moment right there? Because that gave me a little nostalgia. I was like, oh.
The comment,
Blessing.
you have to mention the comment. You have to mention the comment about what he said when he put on the outfit.
Yeah, God.
I won't. I will continue. Not. In fact, Leslie, again, I'll let you say.
Listen,
Go.
in countless movies that we have all seen, we have seen somebody do a costume change in order to fit in. Raiders of the Lost Ark, any of these movies like that, everybody does that, but nobody ever comments about what happens when they put those people's clothes on. I mean, these people have been wearing these clothes all day.
Right.
The hygiene of that armor, the plastic armor, because we saw Boba Fett just annihilate the hard, heavy plastic armor that they had on.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So my thing is that in every movie I've ever seen, I've never even seen anybody say, this person ever. But Bill Maher, this is one of the funniest episodes I have ever seen because I know he's a comedian. His comment when he put on, and I'm going to leave it because I'm not going to tell the audience what he says, but I fell out. That's all I'm going to say.
I will tell it.
Because it was completely unexpected. It was
Yes.
completely unexpected because we don't ever expect anybody to be real in that moment when they're doing a costume change or they take it on somebody else's clothing. And just think about it. If you all think about it, those guys are wearing a helmet all day with
never take
armor
them off
all day. They never take it off. They got bad breath. They got all kinds of, you smelling all of that when you put on the costume.
And we've smelt enough at Comic-Cons, but Mayhem, your thoughts on when they put on that armor, and how was your feeling? What was your feeling when you saw the glimpse of New Hope? It was.
You know what? First of all, I was just very happy that they changed the uniforms. Like I feel like every time as we go and we see new uniforms, it's like, yes, take us away from the white and black, make it more appealing, make it more suitable, make it mean something, make it more
like
flexible,
uniforms for specific reasons, kind of thing.
Right, because like I believe different suits for different environments. I'll even give you one better. These guys were actually hitting their targets. Well, in the beginning, when they had to escape, they weren't. So I was enjoying it. Bill Burr, I told you, I enjoy Bill Burr as a comedian. I believe that line. You know what? I'm not going to reveal it because I believe you should watch it. It's actually very funny. I believe that line was improv, and they kept it.
Mm-hmm.
It fits the character about him being talkative, right? But I believe it was just something that Bill Burr was like, oh my God, and this, you know, and he was this. Oh, Mia, you hit it on the note, but there's more. But you're right. Like it's so dope that they went this far. And I told you, Bill Burr is a comedian. He's just thank you, Bill, for making me look good. Also,
Yeah, he was amazing.
Exactly. And as we all saw, they made their way to the base, and we saw all those locals not happy with the Imperial forces on their home planet. And eventually, they made it. They made it to the base. They had backup, but guess what? There was a bit of a tangle. Bergy, your thoughts on the fact that Din had to go to the panel and the conversation, and this time Mayfield shot first. Go ahead.
Oh God, man, that was a good scene, and
like a Vietnam like path of like you destroyed my men, which opened this little. This opened and left us a new story.
Yes,
this gave us a brand new story because now I got invested in Mayfield because Mayfield looked paranoid and Din went out of his way, and Mayfield was still on the side of Din after the reveal.
Yeah,
Bergy, finish that little segment off.
I thought it was cool that we got that where you had Mayfield came to his aid, where in the beginning of the episode it was the other way around. Like he got him off that planet, and he didn't have to. Mayfield could have just been like, "You know, you're done, you're on your own. I'm out. You know, you're screwed. I can sneak out the back door and be gone, and you're whatever." But I think he stuck to him because he's sort of a stand-up guy. Mando was, and then when he was sitting there with Hess, and they were sitting there conversating. And the way they were talking and going back and forth, and it was like they were going tit for tat on the old Vietnam stories. Like, yeah, we did this. It was all for the Empire. And the guy's like, I don't think it was for the Empire. It wasn't that good. Those people, you know, just they didn't get the
lost my friends. I lost people I knew.
Like, you know, he goes, those people didn't think it was good for them. So how is this right? You know, and I think he got to the point where I think Mayfield thought maybe Hess would have found out or figured out who they were, and he shot first because he pulled the solo move.
Right. He pulled the solo.
And then you saw the look, and then he looked at it, was like, oh crap, what did I do? And then Mando looked at him like, what did you just do? And Mando even had that look before, like, no, don't go there, like just drop it and leave it alone.
But you had an expression from Mando without the mask this time. You had a full like, what is going on with you? Leslie, you want to comment on something that Bergy was about to say, but go. You had a.
No, I think that scene actually reminded me of the first time that we saw Han Solo in the cantina, and he was talking to someone. They were asking him a question, and he couldn't really answer it fully, and he actually shot first, and then all hell broke loose. So I think that, you know, there's a lot of things that we're seeing that are like a send off to the original Star Wars that we're like, oh. Wow, you know, that's a nod to that specifically. That scene was intense. It definitely was. And the guy, the thing that was really interesting about that character, what was his name? The guy that he served under. Yeah. He was actually stupid. He was really an idiot. Because
he was the one that took commands from someone else and just did his job, didn't understand what his real role was as a command.
I think he was fully aware of what he did. I think he had been drinking the Kool-Aid of the Empire. Mm-hmm. So basically, he's just doing what he was supposed to be doing. But let's take it in the context of Nazis, you know, in World War II. They did what the Fuhrer told them to do, and they were eating the ideology of that time. They were consuming it, and it was an arrogance about it. Why they felt that they were better, and that's exactly what he displayed there. But in the same token. This guy is commanding all these people to do stuff, and he did not get to know his troop. He didn't get to know anybody. So he wouldn't have recognized him anyway because he didn't care.
Mm-hmm. So they were just pawns. And when you deal with pawns, you don't right. Right. We've seen that many times in warfare, especially during previous times. Your pawn's always the first one to go. When your commanding officer does not care about his team, we'll say, they're the first ones to go. Mayhem, did you have something to add during that scene as well too?
So Valen Hess, I agree, was just one of those not friendly historical figures. And I really want to capitalize on what Leslie was saying about it being intense. I sat here and I thought about it, and I had to like even kind of quickly look it up. You remember the movie Inglourious Bastards? You remember that scene
Yes,
with Frye?
yes,
You remember
yes.
that scene?
That
It
is
wasn't.
exactly what happened there.
That's
Exactly.
exact.
Mhm.
You can argue because it's Disney. It's not that gory and horrific in a sense, but that intensity was there. Like and to kind of go off what Hash was saying above me, like he had a blank face because we're used to the Mando. Then the man Jin is like you see his face, right? And if you kind of look when they're riding around, you can kind of see his eyes, or the actor, you can kind of see their eyes in the sun. But we're used to kind of getting that blank stare all the time because we're used with his helmet on. So now he has his helmet off, and he's so used to not showing emotions in a sense that it's translating with it off. Because if you look at that scene, he's just like, no, and he's not like animating his mouth. He's just his eyes, all of his eyes.
Mhm.
Great acting, great scene. Shout out to Bill Burr again. I'm sorry, and
All
in
right,
a way, he
so
redeems
right.
himself.
So let's go to almost that last scene, especially with Mayfield. Boba Fett comes in to save the. I mean, Boba Fett comes in with Slave One, saves the day, puts him on the ship. He grabs Mando's rifle and shoots the explosive tanks, and he felt a sigh of relief. And he had to explain to Kara and Dune almost in one sentence what he went through. But Mando knew what he went through on that moment. But he had to now explain to Kara. Go ahead, Leslie, with your thoughts on that little segment of like his version of sigh of relief, we'll say,
Yeah, so exactly what I just said. The fact is that this man's put his life on the line for a belief and an ideology. And that character didn't care what happened to him afterwards. This man had gone through a lot after that. He didn't care. And at that moment, he realized, you think about what was going on in his mind. They could have escaped there. They could have gone out because what was the character's name again? I cannot remember this man's Van Hess.
Valen Hess.
Valen Hess did not recognize him.
Oh.
And since at that moment, he's thinking, I went to prison. I did all this stuff. I fought in this man's army, and they didn't even recognize me. And he sat there and realized it. So that's
right. He had the look. He had the look of fear. He had a ghost-like look on his face. Like, I came into the room. He knows. He should know me.
He should know me. And that is where this is a lot deeper. This is where we're going into the psychology of that character. Because he's saying this man did not recognize me after all the stuff that we went through. That battle was horrible. It's almost like being a Vietnam War veteran. I went through hell for this person's army, and then I come back and I didn't get a ticker tape parade. Right. I didn't get no glory. And that's what he's saying. And all of that moment, he's sitting there saying, this dude doesn't recognize me. So I'm going to say what I got to say.
Okay.
And he said it. He completely blasted it out about, this is what happened. This is how I lost my friends. I did all that kind of stuff. Him shooting the payload at the end was basically saying, I'm walking away from this and being my own man now.
Right.
And now I make the decisions. Nobody rules over me. Nobody gives me orders. I do my own thing. Mm-hmm. It was a deep moment. And you have to look at it from that perspective of somebody who's in the military and feels that way when they're not appreciated when they come back home.
Right. Go ahead, Mayhem.
Okay. We're going to get into the psychology really quickly. But
my background or your background? We have the same background, I think, right? With noises.
Yeah, it's the people moving. Quiet up there. I'm doing a show. So, sorry. First of all, this is yet another introduction of Disney introducing darker themes that aren't necessarily on the first layer. And being that it's successful, we're going to see it a lot more, which is going to help the success of other series and movies along the route. So shout out to Disney. Shout out, to Star Wars as well for doing this. I took that whole entire scene as that man, Bill Burr, came as the character, and he was like, okay, I forgot his stupid prisoner name because they kept saying that robot kept saying it, and I knew it at one point. Now I can't think of it. I'm blanking out. But like, he came in, he was scared. He was scared of getting found out and killed. He wanted to survive. He talked about being a survivor on the trip there. Then he went in and he was like, oh, this guy doesn't recognize me. Okay, I could talk about this. And then realizing all the suffering he's caused, all the suffering he's been through, his friends that lost, innocents that were killed, the demons that keep him up at night, because he talks about being able to do things and live and being able to sleep at night, they didn't matter. They didn't matter. There was no purpose of it all. And that crushed him so much. He was like, no way. And he did, I think, what any decent human being would do, in a sense, seek out justice. Maybe not kill a person. That's for another topic. But he did something like that. Then him taking that sniper rifle, that explosive tip rifle, whatever, and shooting it was like, these are for them. That shot wasn't for him. That was for them. That was avenging. That was avenging those people who died needlessly. And
in a way, saying forget the Empire, because in a way he said at the end, I forget the Empire.
That is such a deep scene, and I think we kind of look over it because The Mandalorian is such a bright, colored TV series. You know, rarely we get some night scenes or whatever, but it's so many bright colors.
We get the Lone Ranger with his Magnificent Seven or whatever team that he's building. This is a little different now.
All this other stuff. You forget the evils that are going on and how it's impacting these people. Look at the drive when they go through the village. Look at the fear, but yet the disgust they had for them.
Yeah.
Great episode, and it did feature Baby Grogu.
That it didn't, yeah, right? Bergy, your thoughts on that little scene and everything, especially to, we'll say, Mayfield's last shot on the Mandalorian series.
I hope it's not his last chance on the series. Like, I really hope they see him back. Like, I thought he was going to stay with them. Like, you wouldn't tell me you would want him there to help you take on Moff Gideon and his, his Dark Troopers or anything like that.
Well, to kind of like jump in real quick, he did put him in prison in episode 6. So would you trust someone to just put you in? Granted, we'll get to that in a second of what happened at the end. But yeah, go ahead.
But, I think I hope he's back, honestly. I hope we don't see the last of Bill Burr as, him in this series. Like, I really do hope he comes back. That scene there, like, as Mayhem and Leslie said, it was definitely powerful. It was very poignant. The way that he basically exercised his demons that he has been carrying around with him. That was a giant ball and chain chest that he carried with him, and he was able to exercise that. And it was what you said. It was basically him, basically a shot for freedom in a way for those people that died at the hands of Van Hess. Like, he did this to them. And if it affects the Empire and it doesn't allow them to do this to another culture, another planet, that's what he was going for. And then I love the way you see Cara Dune was like, damn, that was a nice shot. Like, that man's a sniper. I mean, you're on this Slave One. You're flying how many more feet away, and you're pulling farther and farther and farther away, and they get you. And he gets that shot. Hell of a shot, man. Like, that was fantastic. It was a great scene. I hope we'll now see the rest of Bill Burr. My only downfall, and I wanted it, was in the beginning, was I was thinking the town. I just wanted to see a town, like the Boston accent, like, yo, we got to do something. I can't tell you what, can't tell you who. People might die. We got to save somebody. I wanted to see that. I'm surprised we haven't seen a meme of that yet all over the internet. It's going to be there
tomorrow. It's going to be around tomorrow.
It's going to happen
I put it out there in the galaxy. It's going to be out there.
That's Mayhem likes to go like this, though.
Did anybody else notice Kara's pure appreciation?
Yes.
Well,
yeah, that's what we're talking about after that happens.
Romantic appreciation there.
Well, don't forget, after that happens, they land on, I forget what planet, the same land that they picked them up to prison. Cara and Dune meet with him one more time. Right. Go ahead. What happens right after that little scene?
Well, I mean, she basically says at the end that he was killed in this mission.
Yes.
Basically gave him a card to go free. But yes. I don't know if anybody, I saw eyes. I saw something going on between her appreciation with him and, because she's so hard. She's so, like.
Imperial as well, too.
Yes. That she was like, giving him little smiles and everything like that. I don't know. I see something kind of brewing here.
I don't think it was a romantic thing. I think it was that was a nice shot. Like he took that shot. I think that's what it was. She was like, ooh.
There was another scene where she gave him like kind of a nod of appreciation. I don't know. I'm thinking it's just like him.
I think after realizing how Mayfield is redeemable, he can be a human being. It might be like I may recruit you for something. You know, you're
Right.
somebody I can possibly trust. I think she has eyes for Jen. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
No, I don't think
it's-
so.
I
I don't
do.
think so.
I do.
No, I
agree.
think so too. She looks at Jen and she's just like,
She
it's like,
remember season
even if
one.
you want a eunuch,
This this goes back to season one when she sees the fatherly instincts out of him every single time. And also he's left. He's not like Harry Potter where she's got two other guys to pick from. This is the one male in her life that's always been good and kind to her. And remember, he kind of brought her in. She wouldn't have a job without
No,
him
listen.
as Marshal.
Listen, women like men who make them laugh. I'm just
Women
saying.
also like
let us know.
women also like
Kara
men as well too.
and Mayfield or Kara or Jen. Let us know. Kara, Jen, or
Yes,
Kara and
please,
Mayfield.
please,
Leslie, go. I'm
yes.
sorry.
Because
One more time. Hold on. All right, go ahead, Mayhem.
Let us know in the comments right now. The comments coming here forward. Do you think Kara has eyes for Jen or eyes for Mayfield? It's Jen. It's Jen. It's Jen. Let us know in the comments. Let us know. Cut the check.
And that's the thing. We have not seen a kind of a romance budding there because there always is some kind of romance in the Star Wars universe. So I'm just saying. There's
very small. It's a very small room. It's a very short, small romance.
Exactly.
Of course she wants Jen. She can't have him.
No,
That's why
unattainable right now.
She likes Jen, but I think she wants a man that makes her laugh.
I think she wants Mando, or there's something there because of the history of the way the two of them met. He's a strong male that matches her, basically, for her power, his power, that type of stuff. They're both alpha characters. That's what I think she wants. Mayfield's a pushover to her. Seriously, that's a pushover. She
talks too much.
I don't know, y'all. She's strong.
Didn't like him.
And
she didn't like him.
She doesn't want. Listen, a strong woman like that doesn't want a man that matches her in strength.
We've had three.
But they don't want to push over either.
I'm just saying three needers.
Wow, we got three needers.
I think something's going to happen between them. But okay, we'll see.
So maybe it's Grogu and somebody else we don't know about yet.
Grogu ain't got no date.
Well, anyway,
there's some romance there somewhere.
Now we must talk about the final scene because guess what? Mando now has the coordinates. I didn't say the line because I want one of my three to tell you guys the exact line that Mando said to Moff Gideon because Mando,
you do it. You got it, man.
Mando made Moff Gideon a nice little message, and as I said before, like a father chasing a kidnapper. And guess what? I'm gonna let Mayhem take this one away.
You could definitely do it better than I can.
I'm not gonna be serious. He said,
I need serious.
know who you are. I know where you're going. I have a particular set of skills.
Man, way to ruin it.
Yes, he did. You have something I want.
Bergy, take it away. Take it away.
Yeah, I can't say the line for word, but he basically, I can't do it. Like I'm not that good with the thing. But
he reiterated the threat that Moff Gideon gave to him.
He reiterated, like he told him, he's like, I'm coming for you. Like,
if you hurt one hair on him, I will come after you. And as I like to say with Tommaso's comment saying, it was a line right out of Taken.
Yeah.
And if you did not have the hurt chills, we'll say, like if you didn't hit a wall afterwards, get excited, get like red in the face, you didn't have go ahead.
So before we even get to that scene, when they did the starship like shot, right? Did anybody think like this man is really like a badass? Like he's and I mean that in the most nice way of everything.
Remember, Boba Fett said it. The Empire has returned, and that's one of the ships. That's one of the ships that Palpatine had. It's one of the ships that Darth Vader had. The fact that Moff Gideon has his own says a lot. Okay. No other person ever gets that ship unless they are of higher power. He wields the dark saber.
So what I mean by that, and like you got to understand the progressive evil that I've seen in this man. You understand, like to his ship, to the way he carries himself, his suit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I want to be the next Darth Vader without saying it, or even badder than Darth Vader. And his just aura, like and he didn't even have to say anything. You know, it's just there. So that close up of the ship, and we get him in the room, and boom, they play the message and take it, and then you see his face, and he's just like, okay, bring it.
Mhm.
And then they end it, and it's just like, where's the next episode? Where's the next episode? I need
The next episode, sad to say, the next episode is next Friday, and it's the last episode of season 2. Can you take it? Can
Listen,
you?
man,
Can you sleep at night? Can you legitimately sleep at night after next Friday?
The
I
rumors
probably
flying.
won't. I'll probably call you guys. I probably won't call you guys. No, because
Remote.
will he survive this time? Because remember, he was shot out of the sky before, right? And he survived. So, like, what would it take to kill this man? I'm sorry.
And we also haven't seen if he's a force wielder. So could there be secret hidden talents? And maybe he needs Grogu to enhance it. Remember, he's wearing a similar armor to Darth Vader. His troopers that he's building have a black mask similar to the Dark Trooper, to the Dark Helmet troopers, and including Darth Vader himself too. There was a lot of similarities. He wields a saber.
So you're saying
we'll-
he's trying to convert Grogu to the dark side?
He's trying to take the blood of Grogu and inject it in him like a super soldier, so he
No.
can be.
Well,
So he can be.
I mean, maybe the scientists of the Empire, maybe they'd want to do that, but not him. He's just out of. I think he's just out for power and just like make sure he carries out this mission because he has. I want to say more aspirations than just becoming a force wielder. You understand, or the force? Good.
I think that he understands the potential of Grogu.
Yes.
And by converting him to the dark side, he will be just like the Emperor and
Right.
have that ability. He will have he'll have a Sith.
Right, but if he has the Emperor's blood, remember, we all know where this is going. So if he has the Emperor's blood and the child's blood, two of the strongest force wielders, and he is himself evil on the inside.
But he don't.
Because-
I'm writing my cut to check because I see this happening.
I think he is. They are trying to take the baby's blood in a way and use that because remember they have said he has got the highest count of midi-chlorians that they've ever had on record. That means it's higher than Anakin according to that in the first one, higher than Master Yoda. So this little child has more power than both of them combined. That's what that's saying. So why would you need that if you're not trying to harvest that blood, harvest its essence for something?
They could
So
try
I
to
think
change.
that's
But why didn't he do it right away? This is the thing.
Right.
Why
Right.
didn't he
Trying
do it right away? Because as soon as he captured that baby, that would have been the first thing on my agenda.
But
Why is
he's
that
waiting for the
still
scientists.
alive?
They called the scientists. Remember last episode, he called the scientist. He has not come to the ship yet, and we're gonna get in the next episode. As we're sitting there discussing what if, testing out the whole entire time.
you look at it this way: when the first step in the first season, they had the baby there. He was taking its blood, and that's when Mando broke in and stole the baby. No, season 1 when he
Right.
had the
No,
baby,
but
he
I'm saying,
delivered the
they
package.
took 2 vials of blood. They
Right.
took
They
2
didn't
vials
take
of blood out of it.
And he grabbed it, and then he asked him, like, "Is he harmed?" He's like, "I swear he's not harmed." So he knows that he needs that baby alive because he needs the blood for something. The only reason being is I think Emperor Palpatine is pretty much on death's doorstep, or Moff Gideon saw that the power that they have because they are force wielders and they have that would be something for him to now overthrow, Emperor Palpatine. Maybe he would be the big bad guy.
Yeah.
So
You forget
That's
he's
what he's
wearing.
going for. I agree, Bergy. I
You
agree.
know, he could be doing that to try to overthrow him, just be like, "You're on death's doorstep. I have the power now. You're done." He moves on, but that would obviously we know that doesn't happen because Palpatine,
Right.
3 more episodes later, we see.
3 more movies, 3 2.5 hour movies later, we see the end. But apparently we've also come to the end of our lovely show as well too. I know we have to go, but we've talked way too much. Guess what? You catch us next Sunday here for This Week in Pop Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, That's Bergy. You can catch him on Tuesdays with This Week in Toy Culture. That's Mayhem. Follow his podcast with the last stop in the L. And the lovely lady right at the next corner is Leslie Frye. You can catch her every Friday with the Tingling Tea. My name is Arash Zandieh. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you all next week. Good night, and may the Force be with you.